guys, my name is Madre, and I'm here from the Careers in Psychology class here at Morgan State University. So I want to come to you guys and introduce my group. We're called the Psycadelics, and we're going to tell you all about Dancing with D. So that basically stands for Developmental, Educational, and Engineering Psychology. Did you guys know that over the next 10 years, psychology and all of its subfields are expected to grow about 12%? That's a lot of jobs that's coming available, guys. So we're going to tell you all about what you need to get there, how you need to, and what's the most important thing.
Psychologist studies human development, such as the physiological, cognitive, and social development that takes place throughout every stage. Undergraduate students are encouraged to take strong course loads in biology and the sciences, as well as psychology. The master's degree in developmental psychology takes about 2 years to complete and is not a prerequisite for a doctorate program. The majority of developmental psychologists earn their PhD or PsyD. Both programs take about 6 years to complete.
When looking at the educational requirements for becoming a developmental psychologist, the first thing is, of course, to obtain your undergraduate degree in psychology. After that, you enter a master's program, which takes about 2 years to complete. Upon completion of your master's degree, you are offered opportunities at internships and fieldwork. After obtaining your master's degree, you will soon learn that jobs are limited. However, you must also understand that a master's degree is not a prerequisite for a doctoral degree. Entering a doctoral program, you have the option of choosing a PhD or a PsyD. The PhD focuses on research, whereas the PsyD focuses on clinical training, and they both take about 4 to 6 years to complete.
The best thing about investing in a developmental psychology degree, guys, is that you can find a job pretty much any and everywhere. Developmental psychologists are everywhere. You could work in a school and become a school counselor. You could work as a forensic psychologist and work for the government. You can become a teacher. There are endless opportunities out there for developmental psychology. So the career outlook for developmental psychology is actually looking very bright, guys. Remember earlier I was telling you that psychology is expected to grow about 12% over the next decade? Well, guess what? Over the next 10 years, developmental psychology is also growing. So developmental psych is about to grow about 11% over the next 10 years, which means there's going to be a higher job demand for developmental psychologists. And guess what? I also found out in May of 2013, Maryland was the top paying state for developmental psychologists.
Hi, my name is Shatira Fuchs, and I'll be introducing educational psychology. Does anyone want to give us their brief definition of what educational psychology might be? Well, for many of you who do not know, educational psychology is the branch of psychology that is most concerned with the scientific study of human learning. And what that means is these type of psychologists work within local authorities in partnership with families and other professionals to help children and young people reach their full potentials. These type of psychologists tend to work in school settings, and they also can work in research facilities too. Most importantly, these type of psychologists strive to promote the development of personality, talents, mental, and physical abilities in children.
Several career options available in the field of educational psychology, one being a school psychologist, one also being an educational researcher, and the other being a college professor. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that field of educational psychology is expected to grow about 11% over the next decade.
As stated above, educational psychology is expected to grow, and although it requires a significant formal educational background, in order to obtain a career in this field, you will have to go further and get your master's degree.
Psychology is the study of the relationship between humans and the products that we use every day. An engineering psychologist will focus on how we interact, perceive, and are influenced by these everyday products. In order to become an engineering psychologist, you need to start off by getting your bachelor's. And even though the field is called engineering psychology, you don't have to major in engineering or psychology. You just need to make sure that you have some type of background in one or both of these fields. Your next step will be to get your master's. Even though most engineering psychologists do have their master's and they just stop there, it's highly recommended that you get your PhD, because having your PhD will reward you with a higher salary as well as giving you more control over the projects that you work on. So getting your master's will take anywhere between 1 to 3 years, while getting your PhD will take a little over 5. Most engineering psychology programs on the master and doctoral level, you will end up taking classes such that deal with human cognition, physics, psychology, engineering, and computer programming. And when students apply to these programs, they have to make sure that the program is accredited by the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society, or the HFES, which is one of the largest scientific associations amongst human factors and ergonomics professionals. There's also no special requirements or certifications that are needed in order to become an engineering psychologist.
Okay, so basically I'm going to be talking about the career outlook and the jobs you can get as an engineering psychologist. So on average, they make about $92,000 per year. Fun fact, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were 2,000 industrial organization psychologists, including engineering psychologists, employed in the U.S. in 2014. The BSL predicts that it will increase by 19%, adding over 400 jobs over the decade of 2014 to 2024. Okay, so some of the career options that you can have as like being an engineering psychologist major, you could be a principal engineering psychologist, computer software, and then even NASA. So basically, with the principal engineering psychologist, you're responsible for incorporating appropriate behavioral, social, and cognitive psychology principles throughout the design and development process for app solutions that work with the company's medical technology product.